Good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you again. Seems like I was just with you yesterday morning for about 3.5 hours. So Chris is busy taking that off, and we'll be starting to put that up there for you, and I hope that it answers a lot of your questions. So we had a no-show this morning at 10 o'clock, so I get to get a little deeper with you guys, although I'm real proud of each and every one of you. Even those guys that are throwing us some of those wacky bad comments. Yes, I rant and rave, and yes, there's some crap there. But outside of that, enjoy the free information. For those that don't appreciate it, sorry about that. Maybe you're not ready for something like that. But for the most of you, my God, you're kicking butt so much, and you guys are so sweet. I love every one of you. I think we're accomplishing exactly what we're setting out to do here. It's just a great thing. So I want to get to some of your questions, and I hope this finds you all very well. Those of you that are suffering and working yourself through these conditions, hang in there. Don't stop. Don't give up. You understand the truth, you understand the whole idea, the understanding of how everything works. Now, it's a process, and sometimes the process can be long and painful and, has its ups and downs, but you will notice that you continually to get better. A little bit here, a little bit there. Some of you are walking. Someone called in complaining how bad they were, and yet they were on a walk and they hadn't been walking in years. So that sort of thing, Sometimes you're unaware of the simplest of improvements, And so just keep working through them. You guys are doing great. I love this Native American headpiece and the like. STR8, Indian hair. We'll probably do some Dr. Morse's Herbal Health Club t-shirts for you. We had some God's Herbs shirts we sold with the God's Herbs logo and mortal and pestle and stuff, and those were pretty nice, fun stuff to wear and promoting our health issues, So I come up with some ideas, and we'll put out some nice t-shirts or something. We got a lot of people around here, I think, that make them and stuff. This is Mr. Antdion. You spoke about not taking digestive enzymes. Wouldn't they be beneficial for those of us who aren't digesting properly at all? There are many stories of people doing quite well on plant-based digestive enzymes. I obviously respect your knowledge, which is why I find it weird that you are the only one of those. Well, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you the big reason why, and I've said this before. Your pancreas is an endocrine gland. And even when you start taking digestive enzymes, people will come in here a year, 2 years later on digestive enzymes, started to see their symptoms be better at first and then come back. And it's because your pancreas is an endocrine gland. And when you take digestive enzymes, what I've seen is that your pancreas doesn't supply them, just like any other endocrine gland, just like taking any other hormone, steroid, neurotransmitter, or the like. So this is what I see. You'd be better to take the pancreatic formula, or a good pancreatic botanical formula that'll stimulate the pancreas to produce its own enzymes to deal with this. That's the nature of the beast. I've had cases, I've told you, where it is pancreatic cancer to the point where it was degenerative pancreatic cancer where there was no digestion left in the person. I didn't even give them digestive enzymes to deal with that. I gave them nothing but fruit and fruit juices, and I put them to rest. And as I moved them through this, they started pulling out of it. The pancreas started digesting the foods, and everybody got online, and everything was well. And this is true with every case that I've ever had. So I would not run the risk of that. Even with plant-based enzymes, you always see the mixture of the acid and the base. You always see this. You always see these wacky digestive enzymes. And you can take them if you want. My reasoning is what I see as the result of taking them. That's what I see. And this idea that your digestive enzymes, when they're lost, they're not come back is ridiculous. I've never saw anything like that in my life, that you couldn't restore the function of tissue no matter where it was in the human body. Some a little bit difficult, no questions, and some time consuming, no question. But it goes back to, again, the lymphatic system, and are you moving lymphs? Or have you created a stagnation of the lymph system, which it results in acidosis? Or the medical terminology would be inflammation. So this is what you see repetitively, and this also takes place in the pancreas. You have to understand that this lymph fluid is a very thickened lipid-based fluid that deals with the acid side of chemistry, therefore has the potential to become very anionic, meaning very coagulated and dehydrated and stale and thickened, that sort of thing. And that does then create a lot of problems. And you know that by just having cold and flu-like symptoms, getting different levels of mucus out of you. Some real thin, some real thick, some chunky. Sounds like a good breakfast cereal. Ooh. But all those things are different levels of what can happen with this lymph fluid and the mucus that it produces as a protecting agent for the human body, for the cells. So remember, this is how the body feeds and protects the cells. This is all about how the body takes care of the cells that comprise it. And so it's better to think health of a cell as opposed to taking digestive enzymes and things like this. The probiotic issue isn't even an issue to me. You can't keep microbes out of you. I've been a builder for years and building new homes with new septic tanks, and you don't have to worry about seeding bacterium. Not at all. And I find that some of the probiotic formulas just causes nothing but gastric distress. So really, these things are supplements you buy, and okay, if you want to. Personally, don't recommend them, don't use them in my practice, and never have a problem getting people well in Wellville. Dynamically healthy in Wellville, matter of fact. And so it's just that sort of thing. I don't run with the pack, obviously. See, Basie. Hey, man. I didn't see you on the Grammys playing that piano up there. For 9 years, I had addiction with soap and washing my hands too much. You see that in nursing a lot, same type of thing. And then they rub these lotions on them. And then after a while, their hands start cracking and bleeding, pulling all those lotions into the hand. And every time they take off a glove, they rub their hands with lotions, not realizing that a lot of these lotions are petrochemicals. And that of course, whatever you put on your hands, just like anywhere else, and since your pores are bigger on your hands and feet, whatever you put on your hands and feet are going to absorb in you much faster than if you put it anywhere else on the skin. So this is why you experience that, see, Basie. It damaged my hands, and I thought cream would help. Years ago, cream was able to moisturize my hands, but now it doesn't anymore. Exactly, because you clogged your lymph system in your hands. And that's the problem. You putting chemistry on the body has to be edible only. If you start to really understand that, one, you've got two fluids dealing with this, blood and lymph, and that what goes in the body hits the blood and lymph. And when it hits the lymph and your lymph isn't moving, it's going to stay there, and it ain't going anywhere. And people get stuff out of them, vitamins and minerals. They get stuff out of them that they've consumed for years, where the blood has just dumped it into the lymph system, and now it's stayed in the lymph system. When you start detoxifying your lymph system, you start seeing this stuff come out. And this is true, and vitamins and minerals and everything else. And this is part of the problem. There's a guy who works for the county here, and he's a fourth-generation herbalist. Does a lot of black salve stuff, and he works for the county, and so they sent him up this big county place for the state or something, and there was this big mound of sawdust out here, and they had a bunch of porta potties, and this is just a big state like road place or something. And he was asking, what's that big mound of sawdust over there? And he said, well, that's not a mound of sawdust. That's a big mound of vitamins and minerals and chemical medications that we found in porta potties. A lot of people just goes right through them. I finally stopped washing my hands with soap, and my hands are much softer, but the lines and wrinkles are still there. I haven't used soap in a few weeks, and 20 years old. Every so often I get cuts on my hands and they don't heal very well. Well, it's just what I'm saying, my friend. Your lymph system's backed up too much, and you've just clogged it here. So now you've got to move your lymph and pull it this way. If you could get yourself sweating enough, you might be able to get some of that out of there. Hot and cold applications in the hand. You might be able to soak your hands in Heal All tea or something like that and have some drawing and pulling on that. That's what I would do, and just soak your hands at night while you're sitting around watching TV or something and let this stuff draw out of there. But there's no question you could have a bit of a healing crisis in there if you're using your hands a lot. So you have to kind of be careful with that. But that's your lymph system, and that's just what I'm talking right there. Good example of that. You see it in nursing all the time, and it's not good. These petrochemicals can get brain, heart, all these other places. This is UMINCH, Grammy. Yes, God bless you. I can't get it. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Thank you very much for that comment. I hope you enjoy them. I've never lost my power and zest for health and vitality. Do you see what we all got this morning? Big bowl of fruit and chocolate pudding made out of avocado. Common around here. Thank you, M. Carbone, for you're a sweetheart, dear one. Definitely a sweetheart. This is Reforce 14 Fertility. Reforce, interesting. This is ice cream, you scream. We all got a mainstream into the mainstream. That's cute. You guys are all cute. You all guys are good. You know what? We don't have every single answer to every single thing. Who cares? You know what? We're not trying to be perfect, but we are changing the globe. We are changing the way man sees things, and I think this is vital. Obviously, you don't even have to think about it. Take a look around. So the work that all of you guys are doing is just incredible. I've said this before. The younger generation is supposed to take what the older generation puts together and run with it. I mean, I've always looked at that like my son should always do better than me, and so hopefully we'll do that as a team here, and we'll fix up people out there that are suffering. That's part of the problem. NYXS60, hi there, dear one. Talk about being accountable. I was talking to some of my old oncology nurse friends, and I asked how the young ones under 35 are doing. Apparently all 7 of them are gone. Wait a minute. I thought 60 or 90% of the people that entered the realm of oncology survived it. It just makes you want to puke. And I can tell you, the government, the state, and the AMA does not want us to open up this can of worms. And if they continue to suppress our rights, we're going to open up a can of worms that is going to blow this wide open. We have already great people like Gary Knoll. You got all kinds of medical doctors out there that are standing up and saying, listen, we're not doing it right. You can't do the medications like you're doing. Look at Deepak. Look at all these other people out there telling people in ways to do this. It's understandable for a medical doctor to use a pharmaceutical in a stat need, meaning in an emergency need. It's like a high blood pressure medication. But learn why they have high blood pressure and help your patients fix that, and then they're off the blood pressure medication and you got a good reputation. Right now, medical doctors have some of the worst reputations on the planet, and some of the people are, wanting to do some hanging, and it's like, well, you look what's going on out there. In some of these instances, I can't blame them. So it's sad. We've got to become a one, even medically. We all got to start uniting and saying, all right, let's join together. Let's have a huge symposium of the healers of the world, and let's get focused. Trouble is, everybody follows their own way, which is okay, and that's what we are. We're on a Star Wars planet where you have all these different levels of beings that have different ideas and concepts.